Hi, it's been a while since I've been in the Business Success Network studio. We have got a lot going on, and I just thought that I would give you a quick catch up of what's been happening. And I have got a very special guest sat in, are we going to call it a green room? I do love that expression. Yeah, let's call it that. So, and he probably actually knows how to use these studios much better than I do. There is your first clue for the day. So drop your comments below, give us a wave. Let us know that you're watching, and I will introduce them very shortly. So what's been going on in the network? Well, I have been busy working with Al. Oh, Helen, hiya. Busy working on the magazine. We've been busy having a rejig of the expert panel. That's going to come up very, very soon as to a whole range of new experts and also new offers and new ideas. And that kind of is what happened when I introduced my special guest in a minute. We were looking at his expertise. In fact, I'm going to bring him in because he's got a story to share, and I clearly haven't got my teeth in today. So we are going to be looking at the next masterclass. It's not one that I'm actually going to be running, so I am going to be running one pretty soon. I'm just getting that on the website now if I don't kill my website today. But actually, this one is up. I have managed to get his on the website. And I am going to bring him in now, and we'll talk all about why we're doing this workshop, how it came around, and yeah, a bit of anything else really that tickles our fancy. So let's get him in. Hello, Paul Rose.
Hello, and hello to all of our lovely viewers. Helen, Mike, Becky. Lovely.
I know. It's like, it's brilliant, isn't it? I love, my favorite people in the world are tuning in. So for those of you within the Business Success Network, they might not be familiar with who you are. I know if they're in the 4 networking network, they absolutely will be, because you've kind of come out of nowhere in the last few weeks since lockdown, and you are now everywhere. But for those that don't know you, do you want to give a little introduction?
Yeah, sure. I mean, it's difficult to know which job hat I should put on, because I'm not really here in that capacity. But hello, Book of Face. My name is Paul J. Rose. I'm a voiceover artist. I've been doing that for about 30 years. I'm also on the radio around the world on about 42 different internet stations, so we've got about 4 listeners by now. I've worked across pretty much every media format you can think of, including a number of Netflix children's shows, one of which actually came out today, Starbeam. If you're watching the Halloween special, I'm in that. It's always nice when a show comes on there. I did that, because it can be months, within years.
Drop some links into the group and onto the page.
Watch Netflix. It's all good stuff. But I became known to Stacey through 4N, and I've been putting myself forward as the 4N Santa. That's what they call me. For the past few months, I've been promoting a business that I run toward the last quarter of the year, called Santa Calls with a Z, where I phone up kids with the voice of Santa, and we have a lovely chat. And it's not your typical call that you might get when you talk to Santa at a grotto, where he asks you, if you've been a good boy or girl, and something. Because what I do is I interview the parents beforehand and get lots and lots and lots of information on the child in question. It's the stuff that technically only Santa could know, and that's how the magic happens. So I'm really looking forward to November and December. It's sad that the marketing I get to utilize this year is the fact that there won't be any grottos for people to go to, but I want to make it clear I am not capitalizing on COVID. My prices are actually lower than they were last year. Just want to be able to phone as many children as humanly possible.
Oh, I can't wait. I still need to book mine, but I've got a tribe of children.
Yes,
I know. We'll talk afterwards, but definitely, like, you can count me as a definite, because I am. Well, I do think I am a Christmas elf.
It's water. I just want to make that.
Oh, well, it's after midday. Are we all right to do that on a Tuesday?
No, because it's purely by accident. I found
that. So,
cool. No tip.
I love it. So as I said, Paul could literally have come on and done this show without me, because he is an expert in all things kind of communication and voiceover and video and all those kinds of things. But also the reason the reason we started chatting was because of COVID, wasn't it? So we were networking. You did a live. I hope you don't mind me talking about this. You did a live into our networking group a couple of weeks ago, and said, "I've been made redundant."
Exactly right. I did, as excuse me, as a jobbing actor, things are a bit up and down. I'm very fortunate, and I don't work in the live space. I work in the pre-recorded space, and therefore, so many of my performing colleagues who have not worked for months and are really struggling. You see all the red dots of people coming out in support of the performing arts and being regarded as an unviable business. That's a shocking way to be. But even prior to that, when work was getting a little bit unstable, I took on a part-time job, was selling telephone systems. It was just a means to make sure that when I got to the end of any given month, it wasn't, oh, Jesus, am I going to be able to pay the mortgage? So there was a safety net there, and it was coming in handy. And I'd actually been furloughed from that job since March, but there was still some money coming in, which was handy. And that now has sadly been pulled away. But on the day that it happened, I was quite pleased because I have been using the time to my advantage to grow my business, to grow my presence within your network, 4N, and getting myself out there, taking over the responsibilities of group leading one of your meetings, which I absolutely love doing. And I was really worried that I wouldn't be able to do that anymore because I'd have to go back to work, which is a really silly thing to think about.
We had those conversations, didn't we? We were saying, right, well, I'm not going to give it to anyone yet, but we genuinely didn't know week on week whether you were going to be around.
We don't know. So I was like, yay! And I remember actually, I think the first month when I told you I've been furloughed for another month. I'm really sorry to hear that, but yes. So I was like, no, it's fine, it's all good. But entirely selfishly motivated.
It was completely selfish of me. Sorry.
What happened next, which is so amazing, is that we started talking about the fact that I run this workshop, which came off of the back of me giving a foresight. I think pretty much everyone in here is a 4N member.
Well, not all of them. You'll be surprised.
Okay, so a foresight is a 20-minute insight into an interesting area of your life.
Oh my God, you've even learned the script.
Yeah, sad like that, aren't I? Really? It's not, but also it's important to point out it's not a sales pitch. For those people that go to other networking groups are available. The fact is that it's not a sales pitch. So despite the fact that I run these workshops, it was very much me just sort of giving a few little hints and tips on how to do a great elevator pitch. And it resonated really well. And you and I spoke afterwards about the fact that I do run this as a workshop and would like to run a few more. And you suggested to me, well, you know what? I've got the Business Success Network. I've got other networks. I think there will be people interested in doing this. Would you like to actually run the workshop on behalf of BSN? Now, it's worth pointing out that all of this happened within an hour of my announcing that I'd been made redundant. 1 hour. Because what's worth pointing out is that I love doing voiceovers. It's my job and I do enjoy it. But I've often maintained, if some magical wizard said to me tomorrow, you have a choice to make for the rest of your life, you can teach people and do your workshops, or you can do voiceovers, you'll make the same amount of money either, which would it be? I would actually choose the workshops because I love them. When you actually see people getting it and visibly transforming in front of you. I've had situations where people have started at my workshop and we say, well, come on, show us one of your presentations. And they're leaning on the back of a chair and they're looking at their shoes and there's zero engagement. And then 3 hours later, they are literally glowing. And you realize you did that. You had that power to inspire someone that way. I never I look at any motivational speaker and think, I totally know why you do that. There is such a buzz.
There is a selfish element to it, isn't there? Because
I'm not doing it. So when you've given me the opportunity to share that as part of BSN, I bit your hand off for it. Of course I did.
Indeed.
I'm excited. And we were going to be doing it on the 14th of October. But then someone asked me if I could foresight at their meeting. And I said, you know what? I think we can move.
He sacked me off. He got rid of me. We're going with the new date and time, aren't we? So we're going with the 21st of October.
Yep.
9:30 until 12:30. So this is going to be 3 hours of 3 intense hours of pure masterclass genius from you. I
Yeah.
will obviously be there helping to facilitate, you know, keeping the energy up, all that kind of thing, which is what these guys are used to. But it is absolutely, you are the spotlight here. You are bringing your expert.
It's interesting that you say that, because actually I'm not.
No,
I'm not the spotlight. The problem that you've got.
Read the blurb, you know.
Oh, fine, thanks. But the point is that I've been to a number of training workshops, and they are, because they're basically 3 hours of a bloke with a clipboard or death by PowerPoint running through stuff that he's been taught how to say. Now, that might speak to a room full of people and give some general ideas, but it doesn't speak to you as an individual. You've got something that you need to bring to the party. So when I say the spotlight is not on me, it's not. It is very firmly on anyone that comes to the workshop, because it's not going to be me going, right, change this, change this, change this, change this. None of that. What it's going to be is us taking a look at what it is you are doing, and then everyone else in the room becomes your trainer. I invite you not to become a student, but to become a teacher. For 3 hours, you will be one of the teachers in the room, because everyone is. I'm facilitating it because, of course, I've got the content to deliver and how these things work. And I'm going to be teaching the framework of how to get the most out of, we'll call it an elevator pitch, which means it can go across all networks and well outside of it. But ultimately, we're working on it together. And what I want to say to people as well is, and this is where I know it's an absolutely god-awful business model, and I will change it one day, I promise. But if people need to actually have a head-to-head to me, one-to-one, we call it what you like, after the meeting, to just get a bit more advice, I'm not charging any extra for that. I'm not charging for my time. If you need me to write one of your presentations for you, I do that for a lot of my students right now. I have been known to pull over in the car into a Tesco's car park at midnight, because as I was driving home, I had a really good idea for a presentation for someone, and I've written it and sent it to them. And they're like, Paul, this is brilliant, but don't you sleep?
Yeah.
I'm like, I do sleep. I have 2 children. It was great, and I wanted to share it with you. So I keep doing it. I
get where you're coming from, because when you're passionate about what you do and that you understand that you can really help someone with what they do, you do, don't you? You just, my husband laughs at me. He's like, put the laptop down, move away.
Right.
And I
can't do it. You can't do it if you put yourself. I mean, how wonderful is it that when you you think, well, what do you do for a living? I help people. Great. You know what? Stop there. Don't say any more words. If when you wake up in the morning, you think, what am I going to do today? Who am I going to serve? How am I going to help someone? What a wonderful way to live. I mean, you know, for months on end, we were getting every Thursday night to stand on our doorsteps and clap those people that were helping us. Okay. But you know what? You don't have to be a health worker to actually help someone. All of us have the means to actually help. It's really what I kind of focus on when you're actually giving your presentation. People aren't listening to what it is you do. They're listening out for what it is you can do for them. If you hear something, oh, I think that person could help me with so-and-so, there's business to be done there. And it might not be a direct link. It might be, well, let's help with this. So, you know, when I first met you, I was like, this business success network, Helen, it's called the Business Success Network. Okay.
So Paul is laughing about that, because me and Helen have spent pretty much every day networking together. And when she has to introduce me, Stacey Calder from the Business Success Network and magazine, we've had all sorts of variations
of those words you can possibly imagine.
Absolutely, and it's always a pleasure.
I love that running gag. It's like, what's she going to call it this week?
Who knows? We'll have to get her on one of these, actually. She still probably got it right. She did get it right on Friday, though. I'll give her that.
You know, when I first found out about that, I thought, oh, great. You know what? You're asking for experts, and I've got an area of expertise in the world of voiceover when it comes to telephone systems and communications. And we spoke about, oh, let's do something there. And we've been back and forth with loads of different ideas. And I know that the BSN will be instrumental in helping my business grow, because I live in service of others. And I think and you essentially are in service of me. So it just sort of links on. So thank you.
It absolutely does. And this is a big part of the kind of the ethos around the network and things like that, is that we do genuinely want to help each other. It's not, and actually, if you talk to any of the experts, it's not about, most of them aren't money driven. Most of them are there because they want to help people. So that's a huge thing. Listen, we've already talked for 15 minutes. Can you believe that? I know.
I can.
Well, I haven't. You have. It's like to change because it's normally me. So I am going to drop the link in a minute onto the channels.
Cool.
And in fact, I'm going to do that now while we're talking because I can see people are asking and people are saying hello. Oh. Gary Jones says it's worth every penny. We haven't even told him how many pennies it's going to be yet. But this is something, as I say, we wanted to. There's your penny. Yeah. So I am really passionate about networking. You guys will know my background. Most of you, I'm sure, will know that 10 years I've spent networking, building up online communities and things like this. So it's really great to have met Paul and to think actually his skills can help everyone. Not just the people that are used to networking, but people that are really scared of it as well. And that's the thing, isn't it? It's confidence. And if you can have a little bit of help with your elevator pitch or your introduction, whatever you want to call it, that's the main thing, isn't it? Is to be able to walk into that room and have the confidence in you and your business.
It's what I maintain. You're absolutely right. I want to make it clear to people, don't think of this as, I'm going to teach you how to be a more confident individual within 3 hours. Confidence comes from within. You have it within you. But I think a lot of people are so terrified of public speaking because they fear the quality of their content. And all I would say to people is we're talking about 40 seconds of your life. Hello, Simon. 40 seconds where you could actually change your life, because you really could. Because if you have the right content and you resonate with the right person in that room and they become your next best customer and your next best advocate who get out there and change things around. Simon Clemens just pointed out I look a little bit like Chris Dawes. Yeah, we've...
He has indeed. Look, can you tell I've just found a new button on StreamYard that allows me to...
Actually, Simon, you're absolutely right. Chris Dawes has been banned from doing Facebook Lives.
He has.
He told me all about this yesterday. I know why. I don't think the joke was all that offensive, but he is coming. He can still come in to the 4N News at 9 on Thursday.
Well, he can still come in via StreamYard.
Really confuse you. I might even change names so people go, "What's going on there?" Because we're both also massive Star Wars nerds. So we
and Chris Dawes. So the people within this network will know Chris Dawes from A, the magazine, and B, he is our web design expert within this network.
So we're talking yesterday, and his daughter's in the room and said, "Daddy, that man looks just like you."
Oh, I love it.
No, it gets better. But he looks younger. I'm 10 years older than Chris.
That is amazing.
Room filters don't. They're worth every penny.
Worth every penny.
Let's get back to being on track here. Thank you, Simon, for throwing me completely off. Yeah,
laughing at you now.
You can't be taught the confidence, but if you had that piece of content that you knew that you had in the palm of your hands was just this magic bean that all you had to do was plant it and watch it grow, your confidence will take care of itself. You can talk for 40 seconds about your business. Anyone can. And some people are going to be more animated than others and more extrovert than others. And I totally get that. And I'm not expecting some shy retiring wallflower to come into the workshop and come out 3 hours later booking their first gig at Jongleurs. It's not like that. Brilliant if that happens, but it'll be an incredible story. But we're not there to teach that. What we're there to talk about is finding those ways to get your message to resonate with people just enough so that they want to know more. You cannot, and I underline this point, you cannot sell me your business in 40 seconds.
No.
You can't. No serious buying decision was ever made in 40 seconds.
No, and I'm pretty quick to buy, but even I don't.
As impulsive as you are, and I make jokes about this in the workshop, so I'll leave them there, otherwise spoilers, I have to write new material. We don't want any of that. I'm almost tapped out. The point is that all you need to do is start the conversation. And that's what your 40-second presentation should be, the start of the conversation. Because if you start well, it can go somewhere. And it's where it goes that will lead toward that finish line, and ultimately that close of business and that opening up. But if you start the conversation from a weak perspective, from a point of view of just going, here's my product, buy from me, and just trying to sell.
I always call it being sick on people.
Yeah, you don't vomit some words into the room. Don't sell to the room. I know people talk about, well, actually, you sort of are selling to the room. There are ways of doing it where you don't have to actually pitch up like a barrow boy, put on a flat cap and go, pound. No one needs that. You know, people want to.
I knew you'd have to get some sort of voice in somewhere. 20 minutes in.
Get around. Yeah, you knew we were getting a voice in there somewhere. But the point is that this is what the workshop's going to be about. But also, loads of fun. It's a laugh. We have a tremendous giggle. You've seen the 20-minute version. You know. I actually, just before coming here, actually gave that 20-minute foresight at the Chichester 4N meeting this morning. And
don't you just love Zoom, the way you can go everywhere around the country?
I love Zoom. I'm doing it again tomorrow morning, Wellness Wednesday. That's a national meeting. I'm going to Leamington this evening with you again.
You are. You're heading down to Leamington. So if you want I'm going to plug that, actually. Let's plug it. If you want to come and network, because there is a lot of Warwickshire businesses within this network. If you want to come and do some online networking with us, 6 p.m. tonight, Leamington evening. Paul is guest group leading. Mr. C is off for a couple of weeks because we've had a bereavement in the family. So he's taking some time off. But it means that we do have the awesome Paul Rose. It does mean that he doesn't have to travel 140 miles in the car, was it? We were looking at?
Well, not each way. It was 100 and... It was a lot. 50 miles each way. So you're 180 miles round trip.
So we get Paul Rose. And we've always got the delicious Kate Holden as well. So, she is delicious. I'm surprised she hasn't popped up somewhere, actually. So, anyway, we've gone off topic, but this is what networking is about.
When you talk to me, you know this.
This is what happens. So the early bird offer, as Gary has pointed out, is £79. We were debating whether to do an early bird or not because it is already on offer. So this workshop normally retails at £149. We are offering it for £99, but up until Sunday. And we are really clear on this. It is open till Sunday, the early bird. So you do need to book in. No Monday morning, 9 o'clock. Oh, I forgot to book. I know what you lot are like. It goes up to 99 quid.
I like that. All right, well, I'll keep some £20 notes and just hand them back. Yeah, I mean, it's just. Listen, I don't want price to be a barrier to entry. That's really the main reason why I've actually put this special offer on for people. Entirely selfishly motivated. I love doing this workshop. And
yes, you've also been made redundant and need to make. And
I need to make money. Let's be clear. But also,
I have to say, Paul, I'm a firm believer in charging for time and also valuing it. So I've done free events before, and the danger is that people don't value them. So 79 quid for 3 hours of your time, and I'm there. But
I will tell you, Stacey. I mean, the fact is, I've been running this workshop. As you know, it used to exist in the face-to-face world, and I do like to ask people for feedback at the end of every workshop. You know, what did you enjoy? What did you get out of it? Anything you would change? And the most common complaint I get from people is it's too cheap. You're undervaluing yourself here. So you know, and I'm like, you know what? If it were more expensive, less people would come. And I want people to come.
You've got to do it at a price point which sits right with you. I have this argument with people all the time about my pricing and other people's. I'm great at setting other people's. Simon Clements has got to go and pop his boy, and I can hear my husband in the background going to get ours as well.
We're on time.
We are on time. School runs are available. We're gonna leave it there because we'll end up doing 3 hours on a workshop on here if we don't. So 24 minutes in, I will leave you, Paul, in the background for a minute while I say goodbye. That was Paul Rose. You need to go and check him out. paulrose.com. I'm going to bring him back in because otherwise I'm going to get that wrong.
You are.
paulrose.com?
Paul J. Rose.
Paul J. Rose.
And then paulrose.com. You can do .co.uk. Either will work.
Go and check him out. As I said, fantastic. He has me laughing every day with Santa voices, Daddy Pig voices, not that he'll admit it, and lots of other voices. So you will be seeing more with Paul within the network. Like I say, book onto. I don't need to get rid of you, really, do I? You can just sit there
You
like.
should now, 'cause I feel like I'm just going to hog it now.
You can hog the limelight. We're all good. Thank you for those of you that have stuck with us for 25 minutes. You know, if you know me, you know these are normally 10 to 15. But you know, he's new and we're an expert, and we wanted to plug the masterclass. Paul, it's always a pleasure.
Thank you. A lot of fun.
Yeah. If anyone's got any questions, if anybody's got any, if you want to come along to the masterclass and you know you're just not sure if you can make the date or anything like that, just start that conversation with me and Paul, because you know if we know that there's a lot of people that want to do it, if it gets full up, we can always offer a second one, anything like that. So do give us a shout.
Series. It'd be great. I mean, if we could do like one a month,
Well,
fantastic.
we might. Do we want Paul one a month? Do we might want to get rid of you?
It's I have been recently. I have been free if anyone's concerned, so it's absolutely fine. So.
Right, guys, we will love you and leave you there. Thank you to everybody. Do check out the link. I am going to post it again into the main community as well. So we will see you all very soon. Bye from me. I was almost waiting for another voice or something to come out of you then, Paul. I just thought.
Hang up the phone. No, you go. No, you hang up.